Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. I'm literally beaming from ear to ear today because one of our Healthy Eating Hype Gal members has just lost 17.3 kilos. And this is in perimenopause, busy working mum, tried all the different diets over the years, and 17.3 kilos. And she's keeping it off and maintaining it with her busy lifestyle. And honestly, I just couldn't be happier. Like, if you work with me and join the membership, like, I am your biggest hype gal. Like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Like, I love this stuff. Like, I just thrive on seeing other women shine. So I just found that out. And so I just had to share that with you today before we jump in today's podcast episode, because I'm just so, so happy for her. Because when you go from being confused and overwhelmed and trying all these different things and just finally understanding what you're doing and knowing why you're making those changes and the things that you're doing and how to get back on track and how to stop quitting on yourself and all of the mindset work that you need, you just become unstoppable. And she's literally thriving. And I wish I could show you, but I'll put it up on social media. But like, she shared a photo of her like before and after of her face, and she's just glowing. And it's just so good when women step into the healthiest, happiest versions of themselves. Because as I can confirm from personal experience, when you do that, all this positive, amazing stuff starts to flow your way. Like, when you show up as the best version of yourself, life just starts to switch and things just start to go your way and flow your way. So had to share that one this morning because I'm just so, so happy for her. Okay, today's podcast topic episode: eat what you want, lose weight. This is my busy woman cheat code. And you're probably going, I need this, Jen. I'm locking in. Tell me what I need to do. I was actually eating pizza and ice cream on the weekend, and this podcast episode came to me. I had made some garlic bread pizzas, which I'm going to be putting in a recipe in the membership because they're so damn good. High protein, calorie friendly, seriously delicious. So I made those for the family, really, really yummy. And I had that, and then I was sitting outside and I actually got a drumstick. I don't know what they call them, like an ice cream cone, that kind of thing. And I was sitting outside and I was eating it. And when I was eating this, I was like, oh my gosh, I've literally just eaten like multiple slices of this garlic bread pizza. And I'm now having an ice cream cone. And I've been able to maintain my 10-kilo weight loss. And I'm like, I need to explain how I did this and how you can do it too, to the Healthy Her podcast listeners. Like, I need to tell you this stuff. So I need to tell you because I remember, when I went on my own journey, and I would look at these slim women and I would see them enjoying a burger, or I would see them like, eating a donut. And I'd be like, how are they doing it? How are they actually doing that? I was the girl that would like, look at a piece of cake and I'd put on 5 kilos. Like, I just could not figure out how these slim women were eating whatever they want and losing weight or maintaining their weight loss. Like, it just was a mind game. And I just would look at them and I'm like, how are they doing that? I'm going to spill the tea today. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can eat pizza, wine, ice cream, burgers, a donut, and lose weight and maintain your weight loss, because I didn't get it. Now I get it. Okay. But there are some things that have to happen for you to be able to do that. And that's the truth. Okay. It's not just that you go, cool, well, I'll just have a pizza and it'll be fine. There's some stuff that has to happen. And like I said, it's this awareness that comes to you. It's like, I get it now. Like, all of the pieces are falling together and I get it. And I understand how these slim women are eating pizzas and ice cream and not gaining weight. Okay. I understand how it all works. And I want to share that with you so that you can experience that freedom as well, because there is nothing worse, like I said, than, you see some hot chips and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I just looked at that, or I ate 5 of them and now I feel 3 kilos heavier. Because I can totally relate to that, because that's exactly how I felt. And then I would see all these women like really slim and healthy and happy. And I'd be like, how are you eating all this stuff and not gaining all this weight? Like, what is your secret? I'm spilling the tea today. I'm giving you the secrets. I'm going to tell you exactly what they're doing, because it's exactly what I do. And it's exactly what I've done to be able to lose the weight and maintain it for the long term. So we're going to go into all of that in today's podcast episode, exactly how they do it. Okay. You have to start this by saying they don't have some magic superpower, because that's what I used to think. I used to think they must just have something that I don't have. Okay. They've just got something, or they've got like some super speedy metabolism that burns through all these calories. Or, like I used to just think that they had something special that I just didn't have, that I was never going to have, and that I just couldn't access because it was some magic internal thing that these slim women had that I just couldn't have. And that's what I used to think. That's my mindset. That's what I used to think. The truth is, it's not. They don't have some magic power. Okay. So the secret is this, and I'm going to break this all down into simple steps so that you can follow it and like implement it in your own daily life as well. Okay. So on the weekend, had my tasty garlic bread pizzas. Pluses or two, if you want access to all of those recipes, you get a new meal plan every single month in the membership. So like my best work, my best recipes are inside the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership. So garlic bread pizzas, all for all our Hype Gal members too. They are coming soon for you too as well. So had my pizza, had my ice cream, sitting outside, had that, aha moment about how all of this kind of fits together. Now, when I was eating that pizza and when I sat outside and had my ice cream afterwards for dessert, okay, I knew exactly how, and without a doubt, how that pizza and that ice cream fit perfectly into my day of calories, into my day of eating, into my week of healthy eating, into my overall diet. Okay. I knew. And the thing that happens when you know that is you ditch the food guilt. So I have zero guilt. I didn't have any guilt at the time. I don't have any guilt now about eating pizzas and ice cream because I had the knowledge that I needed. Okay. I knew exactly how those foods fit into my healthy eating plans, my routine, and that is where you take back your control. Okay. You have to have the knowledge base. So you have to understand. You have to understand how everything fits in. When you don't understand how it fits in, that's where you feel the guilt because you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't be eating this and pizza's bad for me. And like, I shouldn't be having dessert and sugar's bad for me. And you go down that spiral. When you understand food, when you understand nutrition, when you know how many calories you are eating, everything lifts. Everything becomes free. Everything becomes guilt-free eating because you know what you're doing. You know how it all fits in together. And that is the missing piece for so many women. We don't understand how all this stuff fits together. We just, follow all this stuff blindly, but we don't actually understand it. Okay. We don't know what we're eating. We don't know how much we're eating. We think we do. I'm telling you right now, you don't know what you eat. You think you do, but you don't actually know what you eat. You think you know how many calories you are eating. You think you know how much protein you're having. You think you're kind of eating healthy. I promise you, like the chances 99% that you don't know. Okay. Because majority of us women don't actually know. We just think we know. Okay. And that's the difference when you go from kind of thinking that you know to actually knowing, like really truly knowing what you eat, where your calories are coming from. That is the secret sauce to being able to eat what you want, guilt free. That is the cheat code that you are missing. Okay. That's the missing piece. All right. So, how do we get there? So, how do we go from, the overwhelm, the confusion to being able to eat burgers and pizza and all the yummy things that we love and not put on weight or be able to maintain our weight loss? How do we do it? Number one, you need to know how much food you eat in a day and in a week. You have to know that. Like I said, you don't know that. And I can tell you from experience and from the hundreds of women that I've worked with, we don't know what we eat. I didn't know what I eat, thought I did. Okay. And I guarantee that you are the same. You think that you know what you eat, but you don't. Okay. And this is the thing when you work this stuff out properly, information doesn't lie. Okay. In your head, you can be like, oh, I kind of think I had like 1,500 calories today. And I think I kind of had like, I don't know, like this much protein. And thinking isn't reality. Okay. You need the truth. You need the information because that knowledge gives you your power. It unlocks your food freedom. So that is number one. You need to know how much food you eat in a day. Okay. What do you eat a lot of? What do you eat not much of? And this is why I've put together the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership because this is exactly what I'll teach you inside. Within 7 days, you'll know exactly how much you eat, what you eat, where your calories are coming from, and exactly what you need to tweak and change in order to start getting the results that you want. Okay. Because no one is teaching women these things. Okay. They're just giving us the what, like do this, do this, do this, instead of actually teaching them how to work this stuff out themselves. And that's the missing piece. So, number one, you need to know how much food you eat. Okay. What your calories are made up of. Where's your calories coming from? What are you eating too much of? Have you got not like, what are you eating not enough of? You need to know that to be able to eat those burgers and those pizza. Okay, number 2, this is your second tip. You need to learn and educate yourself about serving sizes and portion sizes, okay? Again, here comes that you think. You think you know how much you eat. Okay, so you think, "Oh, but I only had this many chips." How do you learn about serving sizes and portion sizes? You have to grab the packet and turn it over. And this is a mistake that so many of us make. We're like, but I only had this much cereal, or I only had this much crisps and this much chips. Have you actually turned over the packet and had a look at what like the serving size is? Okay, because there's a disconnect, right, between serving sizes and portion sizes. So you grab a packet of something, crackers, whatever it is, and you turn it over. It will give you a serving size. So it will say 25 grams of this thing is 160 calories. Okay. That's the serving size. That is what is on the packet. And then Hungry Jen goes to the cupboard and she gets out the crackers and she just throws a heap in the bowl. That is your portion size. Okay, so that is the size that you have decided to give to yourself. Your portion size does not match your serving size. I can guarantee you. And I guarantee that your portion size is way bigger than the serving size that is on the packet. Okay, again, this is where this knowledge comes in. And I know as women, and I was exactly the same too, is that we fear this stuff. We fear knowing about food. We fear knowing about calories. And I think as well too, because it's been talked about that, well, it's really bad to know what you're eating and your calories. No, it's not. It is life changing. From someone that has gone through this whole process and who helps women do it all the time, it is life changing. Okay. You want to be able to eat what you want, guilt free, learn about the food that you're eating. Are you giving yourself a appropriate serving size that matches what's on the packet? Or are you just chucking everything in a bowl and hoping for the best? Okay, this is how you overeat. This is how that weight gain creeps up because you're eating too much food than your body actually needs. So, tip number 2 is definitely learn about serving sizes and portion sizes because that knowledge is power. It gives you control, puts you back in the driver's seat. It gives you that confidence, around food that you really, really crave. Okay, tip number 3, and I did touch on this one just a little bit, but please stop fearing calories. All right. I think as well too, it's kind of because quite a few years ago, it was this movement of tracking calories and, everything was low calorie and it was kind of a bit of a movement. I can't think like what decade it was in, but it was all about the calories. And then everyone kind of went, well, that's bad. Okay. It's bad to know the calories. Do you know what? It's not bad to know the calories in your food. It gives you freedom. It gives you control. It gives you choice. Okay. Knowing the energy value, knowing the calories in your food is not a bad thing. It will unlock your food freedom. But like I said, we get this so wrong because we fear this stuff. We're like, well, calories are bad. And like, you shouldn't track your calories and you shouldn't know how many calories are in something. Learning this stuff is life changing. Okay. So please don't fear calories. Don't fear learning about calories. Don't fear learning about your portion sizes. Don't fear being at the grocery store or the supermarket and picking up a packet of something and turning it over. And another good thing to look at is when you are, shopping for things is that look at the serving size compared to the calories. Okay. So, because I don't know about you, but when I eat something, I want to get like a good bang for my buck. So, what I'm meaning by that is if you turn over a packet and it says, well, you can have 10 grams, and we all know 10 grams is quite a small amount of something, you can have 10 grams of this food item and it's going to be 400 calories. Are you going to want to eat 10 grams of something that's 400 calories? Probably not. And if you put that back and have a look around that space, you're probably going to find something that's a better alternative where you actually get to eat more food, like for a lower amount of calories. So, this is where the knowledge comes in. And you just start small and you just work on it. You build up your knowledge base. Okay. And that's where being able to eat the pizza and the ice cream comes in because when you understand all of this stuff and you know how it all fits together, you can eat what you want. You can eat what you want. You can lose weight because you know exactly how it all fits in together. And there's no more confusion. There's no more overwhelm. There's no more guilt about eating something that's, classified unhealthy because obviously pizza and burgers, pizzas and ice creams would be like, well, that's unhealthy. When you know how it all fits in, you get to eat it guilt free. You get to eat it and lose weight. You get to eat it and maintain your weight. And also, too, we all want to eat what we love. Who wants to have a daily diet or a weekly diet where you can't fit in some pizza or a burger or a donut or cake or whatever your thing is? Life is supposed to be enjoyed, but you need that knowledge base in order to understand how it all fits in together so that you can eat what you want. So, just on that note, don't fear calories, take control of them. And that is something, like I said, that we really fear. Don't fear them. Step up and start taking control of your calories and what you're actually eating. Okay. There's nothing to fear. And what you will find is when you cross over to the dark side, like I have, and you start learning about this stuff, you will feel 1,000 times better about the food that you eat because you'll understand it all. Okay. You're not just flying blind anymore, crossing your fingers and hoping that what you're doing is working. You will understand exactly what you're doing. You'll understand what you're eating and you will understand how and why like it's going to work out for you this time compared to all of the other times where it simply hasn't. Okay, tip number 4, and this is a really important one too, plan your indulgences. Okay, so like I said, I ate really well during the week. Like, had my high protein breakfast. I might have had some chips or chocolate or whatever throughout the week, but I knew I was going to have pizza and ice cream on the weekends. I planned for that. I'm consciously eating that thing instead of having something that's shoved in front of me and it's like, oh, I better just eat that. Plan your indulgences, plan what you're going to eat. Again, it's this we're trying to take you from this not being in control to you taking back your control around your food because that's the disconnect. That is what happens, all right? Is that we hand it over to someone else all the time. You need to start taking control of what you eat. So plan your indulgences. One of the things that we do in the membership is we always have Friday night fake away. Okay. So Friday night is fake away night. That's always incorporated into the week. Plan your indulgences. Take control of them. Don't just be like, oh, well, yeah, I better just get takeaway now because I'm too tired. Plan them. When are you going to have them? When are you going to eat them? When are you going to schedule them in? It's about you taking back your control. All right, tip number 5 of how you're going to eat whatever you want. Eating what you want. Sorry, number 5, shift your mindset. So eating what you want doesn't break your progress. And I know that that's a common misconception that we make as women, that it's like, well, I've ate like old me, right? Old Jen would be like, okay, I've eaten that pizza and that ice cream cone. I've undone all my progress and all of the workouts I did that week and all of the efforts I made, I've now undone it. It won't break your progress if you eat what you want. Okay. It doesn't work that way. And here's the thing again, when you understand calories, when you understand your food, when you know how much food you're eating, you don't worry about that stuff anymore. Okay. Because it's really important that you learn to balance what you love to eat with your healthy lifestyle. Why? Because then you're going to do it for the long term. If you're like, I'm never eating pizza and I'm never eating ice cream and I'm never having chocolate and I'm never having these things, you're never going to be able to stick to it. You need to understand how to incorporate those foods that you love into your healthy current lifestyle already, because that will give you lasting results and you'll be able to do it for the long term. Okay. And that's where we get stuck because we think, oh, well, I'll just do this thing for 6 weeks and then I'll just ditch it and go back to my unhealthy habits. No, you have to learn how to incorporate the things that you love, whether it's wine and cheese and all those things. You have to know how that fits into your daily diet. You have to know how to incorporate those things into your healthy lifestyle so that you can do them for the long term. It is really, really important. So it is a mindset shift. So please don't think that just because you eat something that you want or that something is considered unhealthy, that you have somehow undone your progress. And like I said, when you understand this stuff, you don't feel that way because you understand how it all fits in together. Number 6, adopt a do both method. Okay. Yes, I enjoyed the ice cream and pizza, but I also went to the gym that day and I ate enough protein and I drank my water. Ditch the yo-yo dieting and the all or nothing mindset. Okay. So eat your pizza and your ice cream, but also go for a walk. Eat your pizza and ice cream, but also go to the gym. Eat your pizza and ice cream, but also make sure that your breakfast and lunch during that day are really healthy, high protein meals. Adopt that do both method. So it's something that you can maintain for the long term. Okay. You have to be able to do both. No one can eat perfectly all the time. It's just not realistic for anyone. You can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't want to either. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to eat the food that I enjoy and still go out and still have a life. I want to be able to do those things. But in order to do that, I have to really work on learning about the food I'm eating, how much I'm eating, my calories, like the energy in food, all of those kind of things. So I really just want you to adopt a do both method and to shift your mindset about the way that you think about these things. Okay. And here's the really exciting thing that no one has probably told you or explained to you, but do you know what happens when you have your knowledge base around food and you start to eat the things that you want. So you have to have your knowledge base first, and then you start eating the things that you want. Do you know what happens? You get to eat guilt-free for the first time in your life because you don't worry about the calories in that food. Of course, pizza and ice cream is probably going to be higher in calories, higher in fat. When you eat the food that you want and you have the knowledge base, you don't worry about that stuff. You don't worry that it's high in calories or high in fat because you know exactly how it all fits into everything. And guess what happens? You get to eat guilt-free. So I had the pizza. I think I had 3 slices of that garlic bread pizza, which was delicious, by the way. And then I had my ice cream. I had a vanilla ice cream, with the chocolate on the top and all the little nuts and things. Yes, it was high in calories. Yes, they were both high in, higher in fat than probably another meal that I would eat, but I didn't care. I ate them, I enjoyed them, and I had them completely guilt-free because I don't worry. There's no need for me to worry because I have that knowledge and I know exactly how it fits into all that, like into that bigger picture of everything. And it is so good. It is so good being able to eat the things that you want and have zero food noise. There's no, I shouldn't have eaten that. There's no, I've undone my progress. There's no, oh, well, I have to go to the gym tomorrow and work off all the extra calories that I ate. There is zero of that. None of that. You get to eat guilt-free when you have the knowledge base. Okay. So I just wanted to unlock, that sort of secret for you today because, like I said, I remember I was the girl. I would just look at the piece of cake and I would have gained like 3 kilos or I think like 5 kilos. I think, I don't know if I'm right, like 11 pounds, I think is the equivalent, something like that. I would just be the girl that looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, I've just put on weight. And I just couldn't understand how these women were just eating whatever they wanted to and just experiencing success. Well, I just told you the secret key. Okay. I just spilled all the tea today in the Healthy Her podcast. The difference is between you and another woman that is listening to this episode today is some of you will listen to this and go, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. And you'll actually start learning about the food you'll eat, about the food you eat. You'll join the membership and you'll get your 7 days of clarity of knowing exactly how much you're eating and where your calories are coming from. You will start the knowledge. You'll start learning about things. When you go grocery shopping, you'll start to turn over the packets and the packages and start to the education around the food that you are eating. And then there'll be the woman that just doesn't do anything. So knowledge is power and it's a slow thing. You just start small. Just start educating yourself about the food that you're eating, okay? Because what you want is that guilt-free eating. You want that food freedom. You want to be able to just eat whatever you want and know exactly how it fits into everything. Okay, that is always the goal because that's where that freedom comes from. You get rid of the food noise and all of the guilt and all of that mindset stuff just starts to disappear when you take back your control and you start to learn about the food that you eat. I hope that you found today's episode super helpful. I love sharing these things with you because these are always these things. I wish that someone had sat down with me and gone, you know what? That's how that slim girl is eating that cake and that ice cream and having burgers and wine. Like I wish someone had had these conversations with me. So that's why I'm always completely open and raw and honest with you and wanting to share them with you too, so that you can unlock that food freedom, that you can eat guilt-free, that you can look and feel amazing, you can wear what you want, and you can just thrive as the healthiest, happiest version of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me in today's podcast episode of The Healthy Her, and I'll see you all in our next episode.